What's up, Figuremaniacs? Welcome back to another episode of the Figuremania Show. In today's video, we are doing the review for the new s.h.monsterarts Godzilla 2016, the 4th Awakening version. So, before we get into looking at the figure, let's take a closer look at the box itself. Here we have the figure right out of the box, and I have to say I really like this figure. It's got a really nice presentation. I like the paint apps on it, and the detail and the sculpt is exactly the same as the previous release, but this figure pops in my opinion. Okay, so we're gonna take a closer look at it. We're gonna start off with the head. Giving you guys a closer look at the head sculpt of our new figure. In my opinion, I do think that in terms of like the paint applications on the teeth, it is an improvement. I do have the other figure to show you guys to make those comparisons so you guys can see it better. Okay, now what I'm gonna... There is some differences in terms of appearance, like when closing the mouth. Okay, now I'm not sure whether if it has anything to do with the engineering of the like if it's a new head, like the way they engineered it or not, but I'm just making you guys aware that there is this gap in the mouth, if you guys can see it. Now I've tried closing the mouth as much as I could, and that's the best I can get it. Now the previous figure doesn't have that big of a gap. I'm gonna just pop them out to show you guys. Okay, so there's the previous release, and here's our figure, our new figure. So you can see there's right away a difference of appearance, and my guess is that the way that the head is engineered for this figure is slightly different than this one, because this figure it's meant for the the head is meant to be swapped out, while the head for this one isn't meant to be swapped out. So that could be the reason why. Now, for me, this isn't an issue, okay, because all my Godzilla figures, when I put them out on display, I display them with their mouths open, never closed. So, like anyone coming into the room looking at my Godzilla figures won't notice that at all, okay? So, again, for me, this is not an issue. It might be for some of you, and that's fine, okay? But I'm just letting you guys know that, just showing you guys the differences in appearance. Okay. Looking at the body itself, on the chest portion, as I stated earlier, there isn't much difference. There is no difference actually in the sculpt of the body, but in terms of the paint, there's no improvement in the way they applied the paint here in this part. Okay, now let me just pan up a little bit so I can show you the neck. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit more. Okay, so they did manage to highlight this part of the neck a little bit more. In my opinion, the dorsal fins look pretty nice. I like the black highlights on the side. Now I am noticing right now there is a paint issue with the dorsal fin right over here. Can you guys see it? Right there. Let me see if I can. There. Oh well. Nothing's perfect, I guess, but yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna flip the figure over to the other side. Okay, now on the other side, the dorsal fins do look a little bit better. Okay, on the legs, they didn't do anything too different, except for just applying the purple paint in some areas, like on the thigh over here. Okay, now on the legs on this figure does have a little bit of a gloss to them as opposed to the other figure. I'm gonna show you guys in a second that. Okay, now let's take a closer look at the toes of our figure. Now this is where I feel they did improve. Okay, now let me bring in the other Shin Godzilla. Okay, now in terms of the toes, just by looking at it with my own two eyes, the paint applications on the new figure do appear to look a little bit better than the other one. Looking at the tail itself, everything looks alright. Okay, so purple all around. Okay, and if you look at the tip, okay, so this area is of a translucent plastic. In terms of articulation, this figure has identical articulation as to the original release, so I'm not going to demonstrate the articulation, okay, because you guys have probably seen that already, and also if you have the previous release, you know the range of motion that you can get out of the figure. But I will say, for this new figure, all the joints do feel stronger than the original release. Now, at least the hands on my figure don't pop off, okay, whereas opposed to the other Shin Godzilla, for many people, you know, the hands popped off quite easily. But thankfully for on my figure at least, the hands are on nice and firm. Okay, so again, it's nice and sturdy. Okay. The tail stays in place, at least from my figure at least. Okay, and also I want to point out that the hands on my figure, there doesn't seem to be any paint spills or anything like that, so they're painted quite nicely. Giving you guys a closer look at the accessories that come with our new figure. Okay, starting off with this piece right here is the Fire Blast. Okay, I will demonstrate for you how that looks when displaying it with your figure. Okay, it's made out of a translucent orange plastic, and the detailing looks pretty nice. And the paint applications are okay, I guess. And this is the stand for that Fire Blast. If you look inside it, okay, so this is this part. These two pieces here are meant to try and recreate that scene when he unleashes his power on Tokyo. Okay, and here we have our second tail. Okay, now this one, as you can, hopefully you guys can see that. Try and zoom in on that a little bit. There you go. Okay, so the mouth is open on the tail end. Okay, not one of my favorite. I'm not a fan of the tail laser. Okay, so when I saw the movie, I was okay with the dorsal fins, him firing his lasers from the dorsal fins, but when he started shooting his laser from the tip of his tail. I thought it was a bit too much. Okay, so there you go. I mean, I like Shin Godzilla, but I'm not a fan of his laser tail. Okay, now let's take a look at the split jaw. Okay, so now on my piece, in my opinion, they did a nice job painting the teeth. Okay, so it's got a nice purple color, like a purple translucent color. Alright. And they did an alright job with applying paint on the teeth. Okay, now let's look at the other head. Okay, so you guys can see that. There you go. Okay, so this head, the only difference is it's got the silver membrane over the eye. So, switch it around, take a look at it. Okay. So there. I mean, maybe they could have done a little bit of a better job with that, but I mean, it's such a small detail, so I can understand if like there's people that have like a quota to meet a day and they have to like paint all this by hand. It can all these little details can get a little tedious. Okay, but the paint on the teeth look okay on this one. So a little bit of they could I guess I'm gonna have to make some improvements on mine right there, see? But that's not a problem. Okay, and this part here is the laser for the mouth. Now, this one's got the sharp end, okay, the pointy end. Okay, get that focused, okay. Alright, so this one is meant for the mouth. And now here is the hole where you insert it into this part over here, okay? This little peg over here, you have to put that in it. You have to assemble that yourself, okay? And this one is for the tail laser. Okay, now this the end of this one, it's a little squared. Okay, so I'm just gonna try and show you guys. Let's see how that looks. There you go. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate for you guys on swapping out the heads. Okay, so now it's pretty straightforward. Okay, now just be careful. Okay, so open it up slightly, open it up like this, and then just wiggle it out until you can. There you go. Okay, and you do the same thing with the jaw. Now, one thing I do have to point out, on my figure, it was pretty, you know, the jaw was nice and sturdy, but after changing it a few times and things, now putting it back in, it doesn't feel so sturdy. Like if you apply a little bit of pressure, it can come off, which is kind of unfortunate. Okay, but this is how you do it. So just to give you guys a look of, there's these two ball joints right here, one for the jaw and one for the head. So you just try and line it up like this, and then just try and, okay, and And that's how you swap out the head pieces. Okay, I really like the sculpt on the split jaw. Okay, now I'm gonna swap out the tail piece. Okay, so just it's in there pretty tight. Okay, oh, look at that. Okay, so I don't think that was supposed to happen. You see, look at that. Alright, I'm back, guys. Okay, I had to use a hair dryer to take this part out of the tail, okay? If this happens to you, okay, so if you happen to pull the tail out with this piece inside and you're not able to pull it out, just use a hair dryer, okay? For about 10 seconds on the highest setting, and then you guys should be able to pull this part out, okay? Use the hair dryer to heat this part up so I can snap this back in. Alright, so now the rest should be easy. There you go. Oh, sweet. Alright, now that's how it looks. This part is for the tail laser. I'm actually gonna keep this in for permanently. I'm not gonna swap this back, put this back in, put the other one back in. I'm just gonna keep it like that. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Again, if you guys encounter the same issues that I just went through, use a hair dryer to fix that. Just want to point out to you guys about swapping the lasers for the fire blast. Okay, so first of all, both lasers have the holes. Both of them have the holes for this peg right here. So what you do is you take this part off, and then you find the hole. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Okay, and then you just insert it in like that. Okay, easy enough. Okay. Now I will say that this is a little bit heavy, so you'll probably have to adjust the stance. Okay, because if you do like this, boom, it's just gonna fall right over like that. My final thoughts on this figure. I really like this figure. I'm happy that I bought it, and I do recommend this figure for you guys out there if you haven't picked up a Shin Godzilla figure and you guys have been wondering which one to get, either the original release or this new release. So if you guys get a chance, I would definitely pick this one over the original release. It's got accessories, really nice looking accessories. The paint appears to be better on this figure than in the previous release. They've taken a little bit more care into painting this figure a little bit better, and the joints are stronger on this figure as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So what more can I say? Okay, I like this figure. It's a nice figure. Go get this figure if you guys have been wanting to get a Shin Godzilla figure. Okay, guys? So more videos to come on the Figuremania show, and I will catch you next time. And thank you so much for watching today's video. Take care, guys.